Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on
DodgyBox Podcast.
Today we're going to look at some Disney characters, ones that we feel are unappreciated. You may think highly of them, or you may not think they're unappreciated, but as far as we're concerned, these characters don't really get as much spotlight than others. Okay, and I'm going to kick off with going on a bit of a rant about the carpet from Aladdin, because I think he's a really good character. He's not particularly underrated. I think he's quite well loved, but he's just one of those notable background characters that has no dialogue, but is interesting because all of his expression is done through movement and character emotes. He's also one of those examples of a CG character with 2D elements and like the really first use of a CG character in a Disney animated film. Like you can see his tassels are like 2D, like flat textures, and then like his actual carpet, which would have been almost impossible to do as like a 2D animation, is like seen as a CE flat that's just kind of being manipulated. I think he had some really good outstanding moments. I just wanted to bring him up before we start talking about less known characters outside in like other franchises, like because Aladdin's pretty well known, but like the carpet is just one of those background characters that I think could just use a little bit of extra love. But Jem, you wanted to talk about the Finding Nemo tank.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just
Do you just want me to just start talking?
Whenever
about
you
it?
want, whenever you want, really. Because what was it you liked about the Finding Nemo tank?
Well, the main character that I mostly enjoy is the yellowfish Bubbles, only because he's going nuts because he's stuck in that tank. And every time like bubbles show up, he goes nuts.
Because what was it? They're all kind of like mental patients, aren't they?
They are. I mean, what's it? The bluefish she talks to her reflection because she thinks it's her sister.
Oh yeah. She's in love with the reflection, isn't she?
Yeah. Her sister Flo, who's always in the way, and she can't see what's going on in the dentist.
Yeah. And then, what was the purple and blowfish thing? Like, was the blowfish like self-conscious?
The
and, like,
blowfish.
awkward?
I don't think the blowfish really had any problems. I mean, I know the purple and yellow one was crazy about being clean.
Was that the one that licked everything and cleaned it, or was that the
one who ate stuff was Jacques the shrimp.
Yeah.
He ate the algae and stuff, but no, the other one is obsessed with germs.
Okay.
And then you've got Gil, who's the...
it's like the post-war kind of thing, where he has post-traumatic war syndrome, basically.
He does.
Yeah. That's what I say. It's kind of reminds me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest, because it's one of those things where it's all insane asylum people, like in this little place. The outlier is Nemo, who's just this voice of innocence in the group. But even he has a thing going on where like he's got a busted fin. So in a way, they're all kind of weird hospital patients.
But he kind of gets along really well with Gil because they both have like dodgy fins.
They both kind of have post-traumatic stress disorder in a way.
Yeah.
With him losing his mom and his family. It's kind of like that, like a weird mental issue. And then they're trying to break out, which is another kind of thing of One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest kind of trope. So that's interesting.
Yeah. They did get out in the end though, but they get stuck in their little plastic bags.
Yeah. But they're in the water. They get away.
They're in the water.
I mean, there was a nice little section of that story that was all about them. They're good. They are very underrated. They're one of those ones where, I don't know, like, you don't necessarily think of them when you think Nemo.
No,
like,
you don't. You mainly think of, like, the sharks and Dory, don't you?
Yeah, and the dad, and Nemo himself, and maybe the turtle. And then, like...
Oh, and the seagulls.
Yeah, you do remember the kind of craziness that was the dentist's people, but they kind of overshadow the whole thing about the fish tank crew, because like the whole like stress of trying to get Nemo free before he's like killed by the little girl.
Yeah. The darling.
It's almost a commentary on how people have reacted to quarantine before quarantine was a thing.
Oh yes.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a very good point.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit too real now. A bit too real.
Yeah. I was looking through that list that we found the other day, and Grandma Far from Mulan came up in the
Oh.
list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She is brilliant in it.
Mulan's grandma.
She is cool.
Yeah, she's
Just-
kind of not traditional for a grandma.
She brought home a sword. If you ask me, she just
What was
brought
she
home a
called?
bear.
Grandma Far?
Yeah, FA. Just FA.
Sign me up for the next war.
Did anyone catch the live action Mulan?
Not yet,
Not
actually. No.
Not yet, no,
No.
because you
I'm not gonna
have to
bother.
pay to watch it at the moment.
Do you have to pay? Do you?
Yeah, you have to, even because Disney Plus, you have to pay a premium for it, and then it's either next month or December it comes out for everyone else on Disney Plus.
Is she
Oh, right.
Mulan the cricket?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she has her little song. I don't know. I think she's quite well liked. I don't think she's I don't think she's kind of like on par with the muses and stuff. Because I feel like no one really. The muses weren't really part of the story, and they were more of a tone setter. And I can see a lot of people kind of like ignoring them.
Hmm.
But she was kind of like a main character. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I didn't even remember she existed. So
Oh, okay, then maybe not. Because she's got a lot of emotional moments.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's been a while since I've Mulan, but I still don't really recognise her.
It's fine.
I feel like she got more play than the mom.
Yeah, she did.
Mm.
She did.
She did.
She was also kind of comedy, isn't she? So like,
Yeah,
there was
just-
that about it.
you can see some of the pictures there where she covered over her eyes and just walked across the street without
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
The proof that the cricket was left.
Her father was a great character in that.
Yeah, I really liked Mulan's father. Actually, I do think he was
yeah,
he was
such a
quite
good dad.
underrated. I really like the scene where he was trying to use a sword then, and he hurt his back.
Yeah,
There was something very good about.
It's the
that.
whole idea that he's obviously been a fantastical warrior, isn't it? And now he's unfortunately losing his fight against time, effectively.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
yeah, time and an injury, from what I can work out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I
Explain enough.
vaguely remember hearing an injury comment.
Yeah. It's how
Or
we
at
like.
least it.
So Kim?
Bearded
No,
lady.
I'll just say it's at least heavily implied that he sustained injury from the last fight he was in.
Yeah,
I think the
and
whole.
his name was well known as well.
I think the family was quite like underrated because they really were a linchpin to her reasonings for going to the war, and like you hardly see much play of them in the film, and it becomes about Mulan's cross-dressing adventure after that.
See, I love the ending when Mulan tries to honour back to her family by bringing her father the sword, and like then he just drops it and says he's just happy that she is his daughter and happy she's alive. I think that's really sweet.
Definitely good takes on them. Do people remember the family unit of Meet the Robinsons? Just because thinking about that
Some of
family made me think
Some of
about
them.
yeah. 'Cause-
Mainly his dad.
but there was like his weird uncle that had the puppet, wasn't there? And then you had
Yeah.
like just the siblings and stuff. Like I was pretty sure one of them was a superhero.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of them's a superhero that delivers pizza.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think Meet the Robinsons is the case of an underrated film with underrated characters. So that's the neat thing about it. Because you got your Finding Nemos and your Milans, which I don't think they're particularly underrated, and like there's certain background characters like the fish tank crew who belong in an insane asylum, who don't get any coverage, but like the film did well, so that's kind of interesting.
Oh, there's another couple I can think of.
Yeah, go for it.
Wally, Mary and John. The two fat people in the chair.
Oh,
fall
the
in
two
love.
humans.
Oh, the background love
Oh.
interests.
Oh, that's a really sweet story.
Yeah,
That's one of those, yeah, like
Like they realise where they are, and it's it's cute.
yeah, that was one of those ones where it was just kind of going on in the background, and it was a nice
Yeah.
little like background narrative.
weren't they swimming in the pool at one point?
They're splashing each other in the pool. There they are.
You can only find them if you search their names together.
Ah,
The romance that defies searchers.
I think
Oh
they were
yeah, they
cute.
saved the babies too, didn't they?
They did save the babies.
With their blubber. I like Mo as well. I thought he was quite good.
Oh,
He just followed Wally throughout the entire film, but I think people love Mo. But yeah, they're another like background kind of group that didn't really get much appreciation. Got Archimedes from Sword in the Stone. That was one that people were talking
oh, I
about.
love Archimedes.
Like,
Oh yeah.
he's
you love Archimedes.
yeah, like Carpet. I think Sword in the Stone did all right, but it was one of those ones where Carpet was an interesting character because he was, I say CG and 2D animation kind of really being utilised for the first time, but people did love him. I don't think anyone says negative things about Archimedes. Do you know what I mean?
He's such a grouchy little owl. He was cute.
He used to annoy me as a kid. I don't know about now, though.
It's because he adults understand him.
Yeah, but it was also, he was sentimental in the story. He did look after Arthur an awful lot in the story, or Squib. What was his name? They call him Squib in that?
Wart.
Wart, that was what it was. Yeah, I don't know where I got Squib from. Yeah, and I think the idea was they were purposely hiding his name so that you wouldn't realise he was King Arthur until at the end, but to anyone watching Sword in the Stone, it was fairly obvious. I mean,
Yeah. God, Archimedes almost died like several times looking after poor little Wart.
Yeah. Also, shout outs to the hot squirrel. I mean, the squirrel in the.
Oh, the hot squirrel.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes.
How much you gonna get? How much you gonna get if I write in hot squirrel? It'll come up.
A hotter love story than Twilight.
There it is.
That's gross.
If you're gonna talk about the squirrel, then you have to talk about the fox love interest in Fox and the Hound.
Internet, stop this. The fox, you say?
Fixie.
Fixie,
Yeah.
Fox and the Hound. Is that his name?
Oh my god. The bit in the film where she realises that he's a boy and then she's
Yeah.
crying in the tree by herself gets me every time.
I mean, it's one of those oh no, it's too real kind of moments, isn't it? Like the
But she is so genuinely heartbroken.
She
Fixie,
is really heartbroken.
I think the fox was called Todd, wasn't he?
was it Fixie or something? I don't know. What was the fox
I
called?
think it was called. I think the girl fox was called Vixie.
Oh, Vixie, not Fixie.
Yeah. But the boy fox was Todd, wasn't he?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
boy was
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Just cute.
Fox and the Hound is not one of the ones I was hugely into. It was one of those stories that I thought was neat, but I never got too invested in it.
She kind
Oh,
of reminds me
my
of a real Maid
favourite.
Marian.
I like how it's just this one image over and over again, giving the sex eyes. It's disturbing. I think there was a long period where like a lot of these backliners were, the animal films. You've got the Robin Hoods and your Fox and the Hounds, your Aristocats and things like that. A lot of them kind of have fallen out of focus. Oliver and Company, and they had a lot of outstanding characters actually. Like I like the Hobo and Oliver and Company.
Oh yeah,
I
he's
love
cool.
that.
I forgot about Oliver and Company.
Yeah,
Oh, I have to mention this
go for
one.
it.
It's the boy kittens in Aristocats. They never get any love, and Marie
That's
is
because they
everywhere.
suck. I hate Aristocats. I find the film painful to watch.
Aristocats.
My sister liked it. I find the film quite painful to watch. But yeah, go for it. Give me a lowdown of the male characters in Aristocats.
So they're like but I think it's Burley. What's the ginger one's Berlioz? I think?
Toulouse.
Yeah, like he's the more rough and tumble one who really looks up to Thomas O'Malley, and like he hisses and he's really adorable when he does that. And Toulouse is the more mature one of the three.
Is three males or
There's what?
2000
There's two boys and Marie.
Oh yeah, okay. So
And Marie is everywhere.
okay.
I just found
Ugh.
the girl ones just to be very obnoxious, whereas the boys were quite charming.
The old lady human is weird. I don't like it. There's something about her. She's got,
Madame.
Leave her alone.
she's got a
Is
creepy
it
look
is it
to
because
her.
she looks a bit too real?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, she is Kim in the future.
Oh.
Yeah, it was me if I was like rich and French.
Why would you want this?
Great kid, not just
What
impression.
were they? You were describing their personalities, and I lost the plot looking at it. But yeah, what was it? The black one.
Oh, the black one's just the more mature one of the group, but he is also scared of frogs.
All right.
But I don't know. I just think that they are way overlooked when Marie shouldn't get all the attention.
Is Aristocats like underrated, or is it just the right rated? Do you reckon the film in general? Because I mean, obviously,
I think that's very subjective,
Yeah.
depending whether you like that.
I mean, to be fair, a character can be underrated without a film being underrated.
No, that's what I mean. Though I was just thinking of that as well. Like, because I can agree that I don't rate these characters highly at all. So to me, they're underrated. I suppose. Well, no, they're just
Well,
right.
For you, they're overrated.
Yeah. For me, they're overrated because like I don't think much of the film, but somebody's a huge fan. You must have reasons to like them so much because they're even if they're just cute, like that does a lot for you.
I mean, they just have a lot of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a wide cast in the film, and they're all got very big personalities.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with Jen that Marie is overrated.
Yes.
The little white
Yeah.
kid.
You.
Yeah,
The
completely.
boys are underrated, and she's overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys are underrated.
Right.
We can all get behind that.
What was the hobo in Aristocats called? The lovable hobo. What was his name?
All I know is he was
Robert?
voiced by the guy who did Tiger in American Tail.
Was it Robert?
I can't even think who this character
Oh.
is.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just putting hobo.
do you mean the hobo in Oliver and Company? I don't remember
Oliver
the
Company,
hobo in...
not Aristocats, sorry, Oliver
Oh,
Company.
okay, fair
My
Oh,
bad.
Fagin! That makes sense, because it's Oliver, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I remember this hobo in it, like, that's about it, like, because I thought he was really lovable.
Well, he adored
Yeah,
his
he's
animals, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing his best by them where he could.
There was definitely a time in the 90s where Disney was all about their animal films. And I think a lot of them would fall into the wayside. I preferred Oliver and Company over Aristocats. I thought Oliver and Company was cuter. Was
His
Fievel?
beginning always makes me sad.
Yeah.
I don't like it when he's left in a box in the rain. I mean, who does that to a kitten?
People do.
I don't like it.
Especially in the New Yorks.
I would say I liked Oliver and Company. I haven't seen it for years, so I would say it's quite underrated.
I mean, it's a sweet little film. That's one of those ones.
I actually can't remember it.
I really like the when they're in the pound and they do their musical bit.
Do you mean Lady and the Tramp?
Is that Lady and the Tramp?
Yes,
I think that is Lady in the Tramp. See, all these films meshed together. All these animal films just meshed together. But Lady in the Tramp is not underrated. No one in Lady in the Tramp is underrated. They're all overrated.
I will say that the live action one I quite enjoyed.
Lady in the
I
Tramp.
enjoyed it more than the live action Lion King.
Was it live action or CG?
CG? Well,
Same
both.
diff, basically.
both. It's CG mixed with. It's what they're classing as live action.
Okay.
I love. To be fair, I love the stray dogs in both versions of that movie.
I can't remember. Was Five Goes West a Warner Brothers or Disney film?
That's not Disney.
Or was
Yeah.
it just a separate company?
I want to say it's Warner Brothers, but yeah, it's definitely not Disney.
Yeah, I
There's
just
a-
had to
Yeah.
check whether
Brilliant,
Rudolph was Disney or not. It's not Disney.
Yeah, there's a few of them for the waste. I don't mind talking about Pixar films, but I feel like Pixar is another one where their characters are so kind of rememberable, like everyone endears to them. So I don't really think there's any particular. Say the Wall-E couple. That was kind of a nice one. But like most Pixar characters get the whole plain thing, and if they're not well loved, it's usually because they're not great. Like the bird off Up and stuff like that.
Oh, and the circus bugs from Bug's Life.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like Bug's Life.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bug's Life is underrated or not because I don't think much of Bug's Life. It's definitely notable for being one of the first CG films to do well. But,
yeah. Because the problem is you had Bug's Life and you had Ants come out pretty much the same time, didn't you?
Yeah.
The thing is that Bug's Life are a lot prettier to look at than the ants from Ants. The ants were pretty ugly.
Oh,
True.
Controversial opinion.
The whole circus, and that was amazing.
Yeah. Controversial opinion. The princess wasn't hot in that.
Oh, no.
Would
Wait,
not.
what?
No, the moth is, though. I think she's pretty.
I know. Spider's alright.
God, I love the ladybird.
That's a boy.
Oh, yeah.
So?
That was the joke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know. I found the caterpillar a bit obnoxious. He was the
Oh no!
yeah. He was the Patrick of the group.
But he was so lovable, though.
Yeah. What about the hamster from Bolt?
Oh, God, I've only seen that once.
I don't think he's underrated.
Yeah, I think he's probably the
It's
best
really
thing about the
He's
film.
not rated at all.
True.
Look at his derpy ass face.
Well, he was probably the more comedic character in that film. I found that film quite bland. It's why it didn't do too well, I don't think, because it definitely...
He's just as bad as half the characters in G-Force.
Oh, God.
Oh God!
Is
Is G-Force Disney?
yes.
Oh God! No.
I'm not searching G-Force. I don't want on my internet history.
Oh, G-Force is one of the worst films Disney have ever shut out. It really is.
I mean, there's some funny bits, but overall, it's not good.
Just abysmal.
Me and Kim were like screaming in the cinema.
It's one of the needed cash cows. Let's be fair. Like, it's one of those ones that you know it was going to make the money, so I can see why they made it.
Did it make them money?
Yeah, merchandising alone. Kids' films do that. Like, just selling the toys will make the money. There's tons of G-Force.
For kids without knowing whether it's good or not because it's got Disney stamped on it.
Yeah, and plus G-Force is one of those ones where there was so many toys made for it. That's mainly where Disney makes their money, is from the toy stuff. So
It's a shame because Superhero Guinea Pigs sounds amazing, but they made it wrong.
yeah,
I mean,
it was creepy.
Bill Nye made it worth a little bit of a watch. And he was doing his cliche "I'm the villain" in it. He seems to be a villain in everything.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, underrated villains. What is there any you can think of? I think most villains get good shout-outs, actually.
They do, most of them.
Yeah.
I think Radigan's a little bit underrated, but then he appeared in the villains game, so I'm kind of wondering, is he underrated? Do people know of him? Because
Well,
Radigan...
he's Vincent Price. I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Radigan was probably one of my favourite villains when I was growing up. He's so good. He's so flamboyant as well, and his plan is just insane. Like, I don't know, you go on a real journey with Radigan.
Yeah, I think Basil the Great Mass Detective is a hugely underrated film.
I think a lot of people love it, but Basil, yeah, I think it needs more props than it gets a lot of the time. Because I mean, it is just one of those films where it's got really good animation. Again, it had some good early CG in it.
Basil's quite hot for a mouse.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, so I cannot remember.
The clock tower was one of the most interesting CG in that, because the clock tower and the robot queen as well.
Oh yeah.
Because they did use that kind of early on. I mean, there was really good scenes. I remember the pub scene. Do you remember when they got drunk in the pub scene? Someone spiked their drinks. I mean, you probably wouldn't get away with that today. The whole spiking. Someone spiked our drinks, and the other guy's just out of it.
I just like the fact as well they're not scared of having their characters be killed.
Who straight up died in that?
Wasn't
Few
that
of them.
Didn't one of them get eaten?
One.
Yeah, one got eaten.
Wanted got eaten by the cat, didn't he? Oh, God. I forgot that. It was like Precious or whatever the cat was called.
Yeah.
Oh, Ratigan also had one of the best songs. Oh, Batty. I
Ratigan-
forgot Batty.
Oh, Ratigan.
He was good.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, the film is like incredibly dark as well.
Yeah. God, it's really it's one of my top films, and you just forget all the golden moments in that film. The character design was great in that, like Batty and stuff with his peg leg, because that was a whole plot point, wasn't it? They was like a bat that walked on a peg leg, and like they found out where they were based on him. Because he Sherlocked it.
Oh, that's an
Yeah,
underrated villain. That woman from Rescuers.
Ah, Madame Medusa.
The first Rescuers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I like the second one too, but yeah, the first one has that woman who steals that little girl to go down a hole.
Yeah.
That was
The
the
blood
other
diamond or whatever it
First
was.
I mean, the second one has that really funny Australian dude with his what's it called, salamander.
Yeah.
Joanna. I love the Rescuers.
But yeah, Madame Medusa is hilarious.
I mean, that was quite a dark film. Thinking about
Rescuers,
it.
Yeah.
definitely.
Rescuers is dark.
Yeah. That cat was good. I really like the old man cat.
Oh, the old man cat is adorable.
He was actually one of the ones that I wrote down on my list is Rufus.
Yeah, he's really charming, Rufus. That cat and that like, because you had Penny. I'm pretty sure that name was Penny, wasn't it? Yeah, it was there,
Penny.
Yeah, Penny and Rufus. And she was the orphanage woman, was she, or did she adopt them? I
No,
can't
she
remember.
she stole her.
Yeah, well she was from an orphanage though, wasn't she? And like
Yeah.
the woman
yeah.
stole her to like stick her in a hole.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was the plot.
it is. quite
Correct me
dark.
if I'm wrong.
In order to acquire diamonds.
A diamond, yeah.
Yeah, was it the blood diamond or something like that? I can't remember.
Something diamond.
The Devil's Eye.
That's it.
Yeah. Wow, that's a sick name for a diamond. The Devil's Eye.
Yeah, she just essentially needed a small child to go down into the
Yeah.
cave thing to pick it up.
Yeah. He was like, I need to stuff you in this hole because I'm too big
Where
and fat.
better to pick up a small child than an orphanage?
Classic. Wow, we talked about the animal films a lot.
That's because there's a lot of animal
There
films.
was a lot of animal films. There was a 90
It's got-
period where it was all animal films, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got to think we all pretty much grew up in the 90s.
Yeah,
That was the period where the animators just didn't know how to draw humans very well.
I don't know. Penny was quite cute.
No, I mean the humans worked fine in that. I
Yeah.
thought, but
Well, I find that
they
really
favoured animals. Yeah.
Well, animals by their nature are generally more sympathetic, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
Here's a live action one that I really feel like is a bit underrated.
Go for it.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Balthazar Blake. It's Nicolas Cage.
I was going to say, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't think I know what that is either.
It's actually, they set it up for multiple films and
It flopped.
flopped.
Oh,
Came out in 2010.
Like several good films.
So if it's got Nicolas Cage in it, it would be quite entertaining.
Yeah, it's either going to do really well or it's going to flop.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find it, but like I keep just getting that Mickey Mouse one for Fantasia, The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I was going to
Uh,
say, I
You put 2010 in afterwards.
It looks pretty
come
good.
up.
Because obviously that short was called Sorcerer's
Yeah.
Apprentice. Oh, I remember this. Who was it you thought was particularly good in it?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, he's Nicolas Cage, isn't he?
Yeah.
I remember this
But
being a little bit
the
forgettable,
bad guy, the
honestly.
bad guy in it. I can't remember his name, but he's actually pretty decent as well.
I remember this being kind of coming off the cuffs of Harry Potter. I think it was supposed to be a competitor because Harry Potter was about halfway through its life cycle. But
Yeah.
it was a little bit more gritty, I suppose. I don't know. It's interesting. It didn't turn into a Pirates of the Caribbean or anything like that. I mean, it had the same sort of like grab power, or maybe it just didn't have some of the pull? Were the characters particularly good to you in your opinion? I don't really recall it all that much, to be honest.
Talking about Pirates of the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
Salazar was a very underrated villain.
From David Jones.
Salazar's Revenge.
From the most recent one.
What was it called? Dead Man.
Yeah.
Dead. Oh, it changed, didn't it?
It changes depending on your country.
Yeah.
Tell no tales.
Yeah. Is it Salazar's Revenge?
In here, yes.
Yeah, that was a good film, actually. That one. I enjoyed that one.
I just really
found
liked
him very
Salazar. He just had quite a deep character, considering he was a one-film-only villain.
I guess.
I think the issue with that particular film was young Johnny Depp.
I don't know.
What when it weirdly CG'd him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
weirdly CG.
Oh, there we go.
Johnny
Far
Depp.
right, top right hand corner.
No, I
Weirdly
get that.
CG'd.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, God.
It's like
Oh,
a
God.
video game, that shot.
Like, take it away.
It's got a lot of chess. There's a lot of
chest
neck
with
and
very
chest
little
there.
hair or anything on it.
Yeah, it's very weird.
He's basically a Ken doll.
Yeah, look at him.
But Salazar
Yeah.
was a cool villain.
I think because they've tried these kind of franchises a few times, and Pirates were the only one that really clicked. And I think it was because there was a bit of a drought of pirate films at the time. I don't think they'd gone out of fashion. Whereas you had Harry Potter to compete with this, and then you had like the Haunted Mansion as well, which just wasn't a great film, to be perfectly frank.
But yeah, I just really like Salazar compared to the previous film where they had Blackbeard. A bit more forgettable. His design was just really
It's like
cool.
they looked like they were all underwater all the time.
Yeah, they did that neat thing where they went from skeletons to sea creatures to basically fishmen to like
Who
ghosts.
Basically just a pirate.
Just ghosts,
To,
yeah.
Guys who had been blown up underwater.
Yeah, well, they were basically phantoms, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just funny, like obviously the scene with the young Johnny Depp. It was just really cool watching the whole idea of the Spanish like following the pirates, and like him following his duty into death,
Yeah.
and then being resentful for it. It's like you make a decision, mate.
What was his story?
He was
Salazar.
he was just a captain who was really, really into catching pirates. Like it was literally like his life.
Oh, because he was a navyman, wasn't he? He wasn't actually a pirate.
No, he was in charge of like literally the like Spanish fleet.
Wasn't he after Jack Sparrow's compass? Or was that something?
No, he was. Well, at the beginning, he's after Jack Sparrow's ship that Jack Sparrow happens to be on. But Jack pulls a maneuver, which then causes him to go into a particular cove where there's no way out.
Oh, the cursed kind of cove area, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you remember this way better than I
With
do.
all those spikes that spear the ship as he goes in.
Yeah, and then the only way to properly release them was to get Jack Sparrow to give up his compass freely.
Oh, I get you.
And then when he does that, their curse, well, part of the curse lifts.
Yeah.
So,
And then
they had
release.
to go find the trident, didn't they, in order to erase the curse.
There you go.
Why he didn't
Okay.
all that?
It's a good. I think it was a good film. I think it was better than.
I think he's
the
probably
third
a more established villain than some of the other villains, but I think Pirate of the Caribbean's got a pretty good rep for being
I would say
popular.
Davy Jones and Barbossa were definitely
Yeah.
more important villains, but
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard was terrible. We'll just ignore him. He did have a sexy daughter though.
Which one was Blackbeard?
The one before this.
Oh yeah,
Before
I remember now.
His only
It was
real
that was the
thing
most
the
forgettable
sword.
film I found.
Oh yeah, he could control everything.
It was just his sword that was cool. It wasn't him that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his sword controlled the ship.
Yeah, I mean that was the most forgettable for me. The one with Blackbeard was the one where I was like, and then I quite like Salazar's or Dead Man's Chest. Better title. Don't know why they changed it.
They had so much to go on.
I think there was an English film called like Dead Men Tell No Tales or something.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah. Well, I'd be remiss to not mention it because I already said I was going to bring it up during this, and since we're in the subject of pirates, Treasure Island, Treasure Planet is my one.
Yes.
Which I know not everyone thinks highly of it, but I think Treasure Planet has the best adaptation of Silver and Jim out of all the kind of like film adaptations of the book. I can't get over how well they established these guys' relationship and how like heartwarming it was to me when like just the scenes Jim had with Silver throughout the entire film. It kind of fell off a little bit towards the end of the film when they got to the actual planet.
What was the name of the female character? Because she was really cool.
What, the cat captain?
Yes, yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, because she had a really cool design.
I think there was a really nice alien designs in the story. They really ran the gambit with morph, insect people, the CGI Ben who was trash, and I never want to talk about Amelia.
Yeah, she was really cool.
Yeah,
I liked the
Captain
whole,
Amelia.
The uniform was really funky.
Yeah, I liked Mr. Arrow. I thought he was really charming, and she was generally hurt by his death in the film. He's the rock guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first mate, and like when he fell into like the black hole, she was like really broken up about it, and there was a lot of really good characters in this, and I'd say like the film itself not perfect, but the characters. I mean, I think all the characters in Treasure Planet are massively underrated.
See, I think Long John Silver for me will always be Tim Curry.
That's understandable. I mean
that I love Muppets Treasure Island. It's one of my favourites.
I think the only other person that really did Silver really well was Ezzy Izzard.
Oh, he did it all right. But this is what I say. Like they all do Silver well as a personality kind of guy, and like he's got a lot of cool things going on with how he acts and his animisms. But Silver in the Cyborg Silver, like he was defined by his relationship with Jim, and that's what I liked about it. Because he had these things where he like talked really big Jim up, and he really made him feel like important. And he had lots of cool things going on with his like being a cook as well. Because that was like a side notion in the other films where he's pretending to be a cook. But in this one he uses his arm as if it's a cooking tool, and so it really makes his disguise on the ship. Because he's the one who talked them into being crewmates, isn't he? So it would be kind of weird if he couldn't cook.
Yeah.
I wasn't too fond of Jim's weird helper man, the dog man. He was alright. There was definitely some trash characters in it, like the dog man and Ben.
That robot.
Ben was not a great character, but he was a plot device, so I get why he was there.
Was not a great character, no.
I can't even remember him.
They got to the island, and he was basically the one that he's supposed to have the device, like a compass, put into him so he can find where the treasure is. He was basically the map. I like the design of God, what was his? Is it Gold? Like, who was the person who buried the treasure on Treasure Island?
What was the question?
Who is the pirate whose treasure it was on Treasure Island?
Oh God.
Flint.
Yeah, Flint. It was Donald Sutherland in this.
Yeah. Look at Flint in this. Jesus.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Like it was just this multi-eyed like alien thing. Like
Mate, he's like one eye short of being like Lilith from Evangelion.
Yeah. He's just so badass. Like
Ben just reminded me of another film that I think needs to be mentioned.
Go for it.
Atlantis. The crew who goes down to Atlantis are really
that is Disney.
That's the one of those pretend like it's not Disney's.
Yeah, and it just sort of.
It's a beautiful Disney.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people missed it.
Again, hot female. Like the whole film was full of waifus. Yeah, the cute little Moxie one. Even the elderly woman, she was kind of a waifu. She was amazing. She was so funny. Like every scene she was in was so funny. She was just I couldn't give a fuck kind of character. Like it's really good.
See, I find it very strange that this is reportedly like one of the films they're next remaking in live action.
That is strange, but it was only a flop, I think, because of the time that it was made. I think if it was released now, it'd do much better.
I mean, I love it. I love all the characters.
They made a second one, and then they made a couple of little mini ones of it.
Mm-hmm. Much like Treasure Planet, it's a character film, and the story's a bit like, oh, we're journeying to the centre of the earth, and like mishaps happen. And there was some farty-warty plot about how the Atlantis is sunk to the bottom of the ocean. But it was all about like the romance and like the kind of journey with these group of people they all become to befriend. Like you say, like they're all weirdos they just hang out with. The crazy exploding Russian guy.
Oh, the Russian guys are my favourites.
Yeah, like the betraying ones as well, because you had the villain and stuff.
Mm.
Can
you tell who the villain is?
Yeah, I like the dynamic between these characters though as well, because she kind of turned out to, I can't remember her name, but she kind of turned out to be not so bad because she gets like betrayed by him.
Yeah.
Who they get to play these characters like in live action?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the only one they've talked about is the main character being Tom Holland.
You know the sergeant of Avatar.
Oh yeah, the guy.
Yeah, he could play him. Like 100%, he could play him. Is there any ones you want to mention? Because we are getting closer to time now. But any like ones you want to row back on, or you want to bring up that I haven't got a chance to say about?
I've got a hot take. Tibbs from 101 Dalmatians, the cat that rescues the puppies.
Oh, Agent Tim, isn't
Oh,
it?
yes.
Private Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that cat like risked serious death for all those puppies.
It's another animal film. It's another animal film.
Oh, Sergeant Tibbs. Sergeant Tibbs.
Sergeant Tibbs.
This dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally underrated.
Oh man, best ship here.
See, look, because there's a picture of him there trying to protect the puppies. I mean, it's...
Yes.
Oh.
He's a character.
Yeah, he was trying so desperately to do it all undercover, and of course, it being a film, it all went to shit. But yeah, you see him lay his life on the line for those puppies. Such a dude.
And
Total respect.
actually, so I love his expressions as well.
He is a very overhype kind of like emotions all the time. He's like spasmodic. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good character.
I mean, there's so many you could go through, like Emperor's New Groove and stuff, but I think Emperor's Groove got very memed, so I think, like, the internet, like, because it was kind of when internet was coming kind of big, Emperor's Groove came out, so I feel like that got a lot of memes, so I feel like that was kind of overhyped in a lot of ways for the kind of film it was. There was this brief period, I mean, Brother Bear is another one. I feel like there was some charming moments in Brother Bear with those two characters. And I did like the mystics in that film. We spoke about Black Cauldron. And say like
I mean, sneaking off quickly to a film that wasn't originally Disney but is now Disney.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the leader of the humans in Avatar was kind of more misunderstood than underrated. So the actual Guy Parker in charge of the company.
You're talking about...
Yeah.
Is that owned by Disney?
It is now.
It is now.
No, surely not.
What you
Yeah,
can
no,
watch
they
on Disney
acquired
Plus.
it with the takeover.
That's a
And
weird one.
it's been in their park for years as well.
That's a weird one.
It's Anastasia now, Disney.
That's...
I think
I don't know,
I get the feeling it might be.
Because I think the bat is underrated in that.
Disney.
We can't get into the bought ones right now.
Oh man, I just really love Parker. Okay.
I mean, Parker's a good
He's
shout.
so
I mean,
misunderstood.
you love Avatar.
He's just
anyway,
doing his job.
I mean,
He's between a rock and a hard place.
that's the whole thing. It was the whole idea that it was corporation versus that franchise. So a lot of them were just employees or like officers. Did you say Parker was like the leader of it?
Parker was the guy in charge of the company actually on the planet. I mean, imagine he's not in charge of the company like in general. There's probably big wigs on Earth, but I think he was their one that they put in charge.
Because he was just a dubro, really, wasn't he?
Oh my god, it's Phoebe's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just a guy doing a job, wasn't he?
Mr.
Really?
Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah, he was doing his job. I mean, like he sounded vindictive, but it's like, well, if he doesn't do this, he's not going to get results, and he's going to get fired.
Yeah, he just wants to make money because that's what he's there for.
I mean, he seems vindictive, but you know, that's the company man mentality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Doesn't he sort of try to stop the bad guy?
Yeah, there is times
the end?
where he doesn't. He does kind of stand up for himself a bit, but then he just gets pressured back into it every time.
Yeah.
Effectively, he's a bit of a weak man in terms of his moral.
Mm.
But yeah,
And
no, I
he-
just really enjoyed his character.
No, that. I mean, I didn't know who it was until you pointed him out. I just remember him being businessman. So that goes to say that he's in the grand scheme of Avatar and its bombastic nature. He probably was overshadowed quite a lot by the other cast, and this guy that needs to play the character in Atlantis.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yes, he does.
For it. Jesus, look at him.
He looks so much like it.
He has to play that guy from Atlantis.
He looks so
He's
much like
him.
him. Was it modelled after him? Maybe, I don't know.
Well, no, but it's exactly the same.
But yeah, Miles Quaritch.
Yeah.
He was definitely not underrated.
No, he was a big bombastic kind of character. Yeah. Any other shout outs? You got Robin Hood, like I said before. It was
back in the animals again.
Yeah, there was a few characters in Robin Hood, but I think Robin was quite loved, honestly. Like Disney's Robin Hood.
Yeah.
The cockerel. I mean, he was.
Yeah. That's so I remember Robin Hood. And yeah, maybe we have to do one where we talk about TV shows, Disney shows, because like I say, like we're just stuck on films, but like yeah, there's such a wealth of stuff to talk about.
We mostly just covered animated films.
Yeah,
let
as well.
alone
We talked a little bit, like I say, the Sorcerer's Apprentice is a good shout because that's one that completely has gone under my radar for years. I saw it when it came out, and that's it. Like, God, I can't think of any other quick shout outs.
What about Nana from Peter Pan, the dog?
Oh,
What breed was that called? That dog?
Nana.
Yeah, but what breed?
Saint Bernard?
Saint Bernard, yeah.
Bernard.
I think
yeah.
Saint Bernard, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of Saint Bernards in Disney.
Oh yeah, when they keep dressing her up in hats and things.
No, that's part of her character design, man. She always has a hat. She was the maid, wasn't she? Except for when she had alcohol in her head or something, or cough syrup, whatever it was.
Yeah, she looks after the kids.
I mean, Peter Pan just had a bunch of...
Doesn't look like she's enjoying it very
No.
much.
Oh, she's just been taken outside. That's why.
Kill me now. That's the dog with a hard life, honestly.
Yep. That's why I think she's underrated. She needs more love.
Got all the little options across the top there.
Yeah.
Transparent.
Yeah, we've got loads.
Flying.
Yeah, it's the good thing about
Oh,
Google. Anything else?
But on that note, I think that's all we have time for.
Yeah, I think we've come to an end now, and so we're all under the agreement that Nebula is the best underrated character in all of Disney.